all the unique characters,
I do let him bang. Yeah, I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm a legend, man. I'm building my legacy.
all the stories and perspectives featured weekly.
I wasn't fully committed to that choke, and I kind of sunk into it, started squeezing tighter, and I kind of heard him gurgle a little bit. And I was like, oh.
And all the combat sports you could ask for in the best state in the U.S.
Like I said, Ohio versus the world. It's going to happen for sure. Watch out.
It'll be cool, man. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to show them why the Ohio MMA scene is, in my opinion, one of the best MMA scenes in the country.
This is Forged in OH.
I-O.
OH.
I-O.
OH.
I-O!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 126 of Forged in Ohio. My name is Jake Murren, and I'm the host of the podcast. Last week, I was joined by a surging contender in Ohio MMA who has a 4-0 record, and the same can be said about this week's guest. This man returned to the cage at Ohio Combat League 40 and added that fourth win to his undefeated record. He represents Queen City Grappling Club. It's Kolby, the Christian McDonald. Thanks for coming on the show, Kolby, and welcome to Forged in Ohio.
Hi, how are you guys? What's up, man?
No, you're good, man. Thanks for coming on the show, and let's jump right into that latest win at OCL 40 on September 20th. Just how are you feeling physically? How are you feeling about the performance?
I feel great physically. I when I went in, my cut was good, but when I went in, I kind of drank too much of my electrolyte drink, and I ended up throwing up before the fight. So my performance was terrible. If I'm going to be honest, I did not try to strike with dude at all. I just kind of tried to bully him on the cage because I felt like my grappling was where I was at. The guy won like a national tournament in kickboxing, and I just didn't feel like great physically, so I wasn't even gonna try. I wasn't even gonna try with it, but I did plan on striking a lot more this fight, but didn't end up doing it.
Yeah, I can't blame you for adjusting that game plan going into the cage that night. What was kind of the mindset going in, having experienced that cut, and then what happened immediately before the fight? Did that hurt your confidence at all going in? What was that like?
Maybe a little bit, but like you can't really think about shit like that when you're about to fight somebody. So I was just like, well, fuck it. I'm here, and I trust my training. I trust my coaches. I pray frequently, and I God had kept me undefeated up until that point, so I had to. I believed, I'm gonna do it, and when I grabbed him, I did feel it. Like he came up from 135. It did feel like there was like a strength discrepancy.
Yeah, you mentioned your opponent, Juan Goins, and his kickboxing pedigree that he had, your toughest opponent to date. What did you think of Juan and the matchup going into the fight?
Um, I think it was a good matchup because technically he has more experience than me, but like I think in like rankings and like fighting style, like I think that was it was a good stylistic matchup, and he's already had an amateur belt, and he obviously had won those nationals, but I'm like a prospect. I'm undefeated, so I think that was a good matchup.
Did anything surprise you in the fight? Maybe that Juan did, or did it more or less go the way you expected it to?
I train on the cage all the time. That's my bread and butter. So when we got there, honestly, I think it would have done him better to try to wrestle me less because he did try to wrestle me at some point on the cage. I do believe that if you want a wrestler to get off of you, you have to aggressively wrestle back to like get that. But I feel like there was times where it would have benefited him not to. Sorry, I lost my voice. Uh, but it worked out for me. Got me to in a lot of reversals, and I think where I fucked up was I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss.
No, you can.
Um, where I messed up was I went for a lot of upper body trips, which is normally my bread and butter, but he had planned for it. I feel like if I would have attacked the legs a lot more, like, because I got him in a double towards the, like, at the third round, and he stood back up, and then I got him again in another double. I feel like I could have done a lot better with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love how you can recount all these specific moments within the fight. I've talked to fighters in the past who they go in there and they almost black out and then they win the fight and they don't really remember any of it. For you, when you go in there, are you conscious of really everything that's going on, or is it more of that blackout and then you watch it back and then you pick up on things?
Um, a little bit of both because like I I can like remember specific exchanges of where like I'm like, okay, this is something I need to work on. And but like a lot of the times I have to watch it back and see like where I got hit or whatever because like you don't feel like when you get punched, you really don't feel it in that exact moment. Or like like I didn't really feel any damage except I had he had like kneed me in the leg, and when I was walking the next day I was like, what the fuck? And I rewatched the fight and I was like, oh, okay, he got me he got me right there.
One of the storylines coming into this fight was the 10-month layoff for you, especially after your first 3 fights took place in a 3-month span. Why was there that layoff?
I had some personal issues come up with my family. Uh my fiance had tried to kill herself, and it took a damper onto my training, and I tried to stay at home and take care of that. But I obviously want to make fighting my career. So once I got back in, I got real serious, and I do think the ring rust did affect me a little bit, but I'm back now. I think I should be fighting in maybe January, maybe December. I'm not sure, but pretty soon. Maybe I do want to go. I think I need a kickboxing fight before I go for my amateur title. Just to get more experience, but. I do want to. I am chasing that title off somebody. I don't have anyone to call out in specific. I think everyone thinks that I think that's the lamest part of the sport. Honestly, is the shit talk. But
No, I get it, man. I'm sorry to hear about that personal stuff there. And, I wanted to ask, given that 10-month layoff between fights for you, you mentioned the rust. How long did it take you to kind of settle in once you were in the cage with one?
well, like I said, I planned to strike with him, but in the first exchange, we kind of crashed, and I instantly went into the clinch, and it was all instinct from there. Like I said, we worked from there all day, every day, and it benefited me a lot because I felt really maybe I shouldn't have said that there was a strength discrepancy because he didn't feel like. I guess everyone doesn't feel weak or strong. Like it kind of just is but that was my bread and butter. So it felt like I could control a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was also the first time that you've gone to a decision in your career. What was that experience like, having to dig deep, as the fight got longer?
Um, I was really disappointed. Yeah, I mean, watching the fight back, I could have been a lot more active, and I think if I would have prepared better, I could have implemented my jiu-jitsu a lot more and maybe got a sub because I think I'm just more experienced on the ground. But I mean, he was a good fighter. I mean, he fought for everything. He stood up every time I took him down. He really didn't want to he didn't the guy I fought before I finished him, I felt like he conceded. Like he was like, okay, I don't want to be here anymore. Um but I felt like Juan never I really respect that. Because that's me too. You're gonna have to kill me, you know what I mean? And I respect that too.
Yeah, the fight went your way, but it was a split decision. Were you confident that you had done enough to earn the victory?
Yeah, I got up and yelled, and I always after every fight I yell, "All glory be to God." And I knew I won. I didn't care if they could have gave it to him, and I would have known I won because the second round, you could throw up either way, but I know for a fact I won 1 and 3.
Yeah, I love the confidence there. You mentioned how you sound pretty critical of the performance overall, but given, what happened with the cut, what happened right before the fight, and maybe the 10-month layoff is a factor as well, has your
No excuses.
no excuses. So you're still pretty critical of that fourth win.
Yes. Yeah, I don't, like Ilya Taporia says, you don't train to win, you train to dominate. And if you like, I'm a grappler, and that's a big and a problem in our sport is a lot of people don't understand grappling and don't like to watch it, especially like a cage merchant like myself. So I do always try to finish, and that's what really stamps someone like my fighting styles. Um, like gets your name out there is those finishes. So I do need to stack up those finishes if I want to get whenever I'm pro and I want to get signed to the UFC. Even if I don't have the most exciting fight, if I get an exciting finish, that's what gets shared online. No one get like in our world, people will see 10-second clips. They don't give a fuck about anything. Like they don't know if you were getting your ass beat before that. They see that you won. That's it. That's all that matters.
Talking with Kolby McDonald here on Forged in Ohio. So you made your debut in August 2023 at only 20 years old. What encouraged you to get into this sport and make that debut at such a young age?
Um, I actually did had some backyard experience on it was like a little local thing, kind of like street beefs, when I was like 17. And then my brother was an MMA fighter, but really what got me was one day I just woke up and God told me, he was like, you're gonna be the baddest. And I went full in on it, and I went there the next day and I asked my coach for a fight, and then I never looked back. I've received so many blessings. Like I got to train with the immortal Matt Brown. I have pros around me, like the guys up there at Ronin, like Max Metzger. He told me to come up there. I might go up there today. I don't know. I have to take my girl to the dentist, so I don't know. But like I have a bunch of people, and this is like it kind of all was very fruitful for me, like the amount of people who believed in me, the amount of like support I got and stuff. I knew it was for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that, man. Since you brought it up, those backyard fights that you were involved in, can you tell me a little bit more about what that experience was like?
It's pretty similar to just like a regular, like it was the same rules as an MMA fight. Actually, you could knee in the head, which you can't do in a lot of states for amateur. In Ohio, you can't kick in the head. Uh, I usually fight in Kentucky, which you can kick in the head, but it was in a ring, which kind of sucked for grappling because you can slide out of the ring and they just stand you up or whatever. I did fight a dude with amateur experience and I won. So I was, that kind of built my confidence up. And then I go into the training room with Ruben and get fucking smashed. So then humbled me right back to where I needed to be. I probably would have fought sooner. I got shot in the leg, and that took me out for like 6 months.
That's an insane story. What was that, recovery like, and then being able to get back in the cage?
So, um, my fiance really took care of me. My buddy, Montrese got shot like basically like bar for bar the exact same way where I was, and he didn't have anybody. He was just left to the nurses, and it's really emasculating. Like you can't do anything, and as a man you're supposed to always be strong, and you are like it doesn't hurt when it happens, but the healing process is like the most immense pain, and they got you trying to take these painkillers, and I live in a really rundown town, so I've watched all these like addicts. So I'm not trying to take these pain pills, but like your leg is in immense pain. So I took them for like 2 or 3 days, but then I was like, I can't do it. I was like, I can't. Uh, I don't want to say my pride because I try to be humble, but like kind of like my pride wouldn't let me take them, and I started smoking to like because I believed in that more than taking pain pills for the pain. And I would like hop on one leg and my right leg got like super cut. Like my like I had like one little small leg and then like one buff leg, and I would like playfully race my fiance, but they told me you can walk with your crutches, and I was like okay, and I just put my crutches down and never walked with them again. They were like, yeah, I just want to try to put weight on it, and then I was like, here, let's go outside, and then I raced my fiance and I dusted her, and I was like, okay, I'm good, and I started training like 2 weeks later. I started if I you know when you're like 18, you're basically like Wolverine, so you just heal really fast. And I got right back in there, and it's perfectly fine. I can do a pistol squat on it, like it's, you know what I mean. Obviously, there was like some recovery, and I do stuff to like try to bulletproof my knees or whatnot, so nothing ever happens to them. But I was really lucky. And I'm sorry, the ADHD. My buddy who got shot, he didn't have anyone to take care of him, and his leg is completely straight. Like he can't, like he like hobbles. And I'm very blessed, and like I'm super glad, and I thank God every day because my leg works perfectly fine, and it was very likely that it wouldn't.
When you're in the middle of such a grueling recovery like that, does your faith ever waver that you would be an MMA fighter during that time?
You know what? Yeah, when I was there, I didn't believe, you know what I'm saying? I was like I don't think that I might be able to. Like I don't know if I'll ever like walk right or whatever else. But whenever I started training and like did as good as I did because I like had like an accelerated path over someone. It still took me like the regular time to get a blue belt, but I was always had like a rough style, like more of an MMA jiu-jitsu style, and I could still wrestle as good as I could. I felt great. I did learn backwards. I started southpaw to like make sure my knee wouldn't get hurt, and it's kind of just I've stayed southpaw. I'm learning to strike orthodox. I wrestle. I can switch, but I'm obviously a lot stronger from southpaw, and it throws a lot of people off, which is cool.
So your first three fights all ended in the second round. You have a knockout, knee to the body, and rear naked choke win. What's been the best moment so far in your career?
Um, I think uh, huh. I think maybe my I love being able to glorify God because whenever I win, I can show people that I don't feel like I am weak without Christ. And whenever I win, I can show them that you might be weak, but God gives you strength. And that's what I truly believe. Like I'm no better than any other man, but God gives me strength whenever like I just caught Juan. Like I just like stayed on him. Like I just stayed stuck to him. I never had to ever feel his like he's a good striker or whatever, but I never had to figure out, you know what I mean? And I think my best, but back to the best moment, I think my best moment was getting to thank my fiance, my mother, and my sister. Because like my transmission blew up in my car, and my sister gave me a car right before my last fight. Um, my coach came out from Atlanta the night before, no sleep, um, and just like working like a workhorse. Even though like he has money, he doesn't need to do stuff like that, but he really invests in us, and getting to tell people how good these people are who invest in me really means a lot to me because as what a lot of fighters won't tell you is all the people behind the scenes do a lot more than you would realize. Like they're building you up those are the people who pick you up, you know what I mean? Like if I lose a fight, I still have a family to go home to, you know what I mean? And like someone who loves me and a coach who believes in me, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to ask about the guys there at Queen City Grappling Club. I'm sure they've been instrumental in your growth as a fighter and as a man. What have the guys there meant to you and your development?
So, I never really had my dad in my life. I was raised by a bunch of women. And I would say that Ruben Vera really taught me how to like really be a man. Like there's no excuses. You get up, you get the work done, you stay disciplined, and eventually it'll come out. You know what I mean? And like it's not always gonna look pretty, but there's gonna be results. And not everyone has to see them. Not You don't have to talk about it, but you will know inside what you put forth. You know what I mean? And then Jagel and Zach, the pros that are Jim. I think you've had an interview with Jagel.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, no one's taking me down with Jagel on my team, and Danny, the guy who fought on my card, and yeah, like I felt when like Juan tried to take me down. No offense to Juan, but when I'm used to a guy like Danny who's 170 pounds trying to pick me up, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm fine right here. I literally like felt a sense of relief thinking about it because like I've been like we'll run Shark Tanks and it feels like you're getting swallowed whenever your gas tank wants to run out, and you just have to be like, nah, that's where like the real character comes out, like when you're tired and you just can't quit.
Yeah, man, I was going to ask about Anthony Jagel. I've had him on here several times, and I think you're only the second fighter from Queen City Grappling Club that I've had on the show. Just what has, Anthony Jagel's veteran leadership and presence in the gym, how has that influenced you?
um gave me a lot of opportunities. Like I said, he brought me up there. Him and Ruben brought me over there to Immortal. I got to train with a bunch of more pros. He it's funny because obviously he's 5 foot, but he is like a big brother to the gym, and he does give a lot back to the community. Like it's wonderful. Like I wish that more people got to see with him with the kids. Like uh he gives those kids hope that they can have a career, and maybe not fighting, but maybe wrestling, maybe whatever else. And them seeing him succeed gives them belief. And it's really something beautiful to like, inspire the next generation.
Once again, we're talking with Kolby McDonald here on Forged in Ohio. So you're coming off the win at OCL 40. I know you mentioned January, December. Is that when fans can expect to see you compete next?
I might. I would say MMA probably. I might compete in like I guess fans wouldn't see a jiu-jitsu tournament unless I like clipped it. But I'm probably gonna compete in a jiu-jitsu tournament or a kickboxing tournament or a kickboxing fight pretty soon. I couldn't give you a date because I don't have anything signed or anything, or I haven't like looked into any of the local tournaments or whatever else. I think Worlds is in a month or two. I might go to that. But I will be probably competing before then. But yeah, January, December is probably when I'm looking around to fight because I do need to go take somebody's belt. I need to go get some hardware to give back to my coach.
How important is it as especially an amateur MMA fighter to compete in those other disciplines, get in jiu-jitsu matches and kickboxing fights, really to just get that skill set more well-rounded?
So I think you should compete in a kickboxing or like boxing match just to get used to when I can't take someone down, obviously. And the skills are a little bit different. I have had a boxing coach. I got like a kickboxing coach, and then like or we have two kickboxing coaches, and one is like more Muay Thai, and then one's like MMA based. And like understanding, like if you go and learn sweeps from a judo guy or a Muay Thai guy, they're completely different from when you try to learn sweeps in jiu-jitsu. Like they're just not as good as those guys. Or like when you learn wrestling out of actual wrestling class, it's way higher level, way more chain wrestling than an MMA guy who just like 1-2 shot. You know what I mean? Um, so that's like really where you like level up those skill sets. I just like to stay active. Like I think those break up the nerves and like break up the rust if you just stay active. Obviously when you're a pro, you don't want to be around a bunch of like black belts who are trying to leg lock the shit out of you and get your knee blown out. But you do want to just stay as active as possible. And I feel like that's a good place for me to stay active and keep my skill set sharp.
You've brought up a title shot a few times now. Do you feel like an amateur featherweight title could be next for you, and how important is that?
I do plan on getting a title before I go pro, and it'd be super important because my coach didn't get to have the MMA career that he wanted to, and he invested in all of us, and I want to give him what, like, because that's his belt. He's invested in me more than anyone will ever know. Like, he's got me classes with like a bunch of different coaches and got me in places, and that, like, more than it being my belt, I want to show like how good Ruben is. Like, Ruben, our guy Dan, he just opened a gym. Dan Zimmerman, he won worlds in jiu-jitsu at brown belt. Um Jimmy Sandlin, like, he won blue belt at Masters and at Worlds. Like, he's a super good coach, and I'm so lucky. I've been to other gyms after getting with Ruben, and I did, like, he makes you disciplined, and he like really teaches like a really good class. Like, you're never a lot of people will just like move, and when they drill they don't really care, but like everything is a rep, everything is a rep. Like, you gotta like build that callus, and you gotta be mean, you gotta be like, and if I didn't have those extra reps with him, I wouldn't have won my last fight. And I just want to give it back to him. Like, I really can't express enough how good of a coach he is and how much of like a family he provides at the gym. Like, he really invests in us a lot.
Yeah, I love asking fighters about what drives them and their sources of motivation. It sounds like for you, one of them is certainly giving back to your coach, Ruben, and I'm sure you have some other ones as well.
Um, I just want to. I I probably blow my shit smooth off if I keep working a 9 to 5 for too much longer. Uh, jokes, but I feel like I'm God driven, and like I feel like this is the best way that I can evangelize Christ, because I wasn't born with the gift of gab, and so I feel like if I can get on a mic and get like a good performance and then tell someone about Christ, and if I can, get like a UFC belt and tell people I was just given this, like, means nothing, like I was just gifted this by God, and I feel like that would be amazing. And then like I said, I have a ton of people, like my sister and my fiance have sacrificed a ton of money and time for me to be this guy. And I just want to maybe give back to them. Like, I want to show them the amount of love that they've shown me. And uh I mean, obviously, I believe in myself. I believe in myself wholeheartedly. I'm stubborn as can be, and there's not like a person who walks around where I'm like, I don't believe that I can be God sometimes or whatever. I don't have like I like to be humble, but like I believe that any man can have their day, And I, like I said, I want to evangelize Christ, and I want to just give back to my family. I would love for this to be the way I support my family, or I know this is the way that I'm going to support my family. And oh yeah, my mom's made us all fighters. Like, my brother was an MMA fighter. We all had to wrestle in school, and no one really believed in me when I was a kid because I was a pussy and I was the baby. And now look at me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what's that like growing up in really a family of combat sports athletes and, having an older brother who's getting into the sport and then you can kind of follow his footpath there?
Um, he really has like led the way for me. I still try to wrestle him. He's like 240. He still be fucking me up with just like pure wrestling. Like, he got the wrestling in college and stuff. And being around that, like, just was like amazing. And I guess I should touch on the last point about what made me want to fight. I feel like this is the closest way you can get to be in Goku or Vegeta. Like, I love anime too. I really, oh yeah, the Luffy hat or whatever. I feel like this is the closest way you can to be getting an anime character. Everyone's like, oh, if I was in an anime world, I would be I would be OP or I'd be tough, and I'm like, no, you wouldn't, because you don't do shit in real life right now. Yeah. um, but growing up around it, it was definitely hard. I had one wrestling trophy, and it was for 8th place out of 8th place.
Hmm.
And my brother had like a wall just filled with, 1st place, 2nd place, the whatever. He won like a not. There was like a news article about him in Dayton. I could send it to you if you want. He won like a big grappling tournament hosted by the UFC, and they didn't even know he was 17. And he's just always been an excellent grappler. And it was a hard standard to live up to, but he didn't get to live his dream either. He ended up having kids. He ended up getting married. He ended up not getting to go to college, and he works like a blue collar job. And I can see like that I love being able to like not I don't want to say he's living vicariously, because he loves his life, he loves his kids and stuff, but like he gets to see maybe his dream given out through me, and I just want to I believe wholeheartedly, if you dig your nose into it and you don't like, everyone has like a plan B when shit doesn't work out. Me, Jago, and Zach, we all threw our plan Bs out the way. We were on the way to Immortal, and we all had that exact same thought, and it was a beautiful moment because we knew we were all the way in, and this is all we wanted.
Yeah, I love that mindset a lot, man. And when you have people in your life, your coach, your brother, who maybe didn't get to live out their MMA dream, and they're, like you said, almost living vicariously through you, does that add more pressure on your shoulders as you pursue this dream and career as a fighter?
Maybe, but like, I have thought about that, but or like like, it's scary. Like I usually don't like having my mom or girlfriend go there because I don't want them to see me like that or see me beat up or whatever.
Hmm.
But I had two realizations. I watched Mighty Mouse talk about it, and he was like, "When I come home, I have to go do the dishes and mow the lawn." So when I come and I had dishes in my sink when I came home after my fight. You're just still just a regular person. So it's like a job. I love it, and I get to talk to people like you and get to have these amazing experiences. And then um when like with the pressure, yeah, I'm already getting punched in the face. It can't get much worse, right? You know what I mean? Like I'm already scared shitless. I'm going against these guys who are killers and fucking what gosh, I say that word a lot. I'm sorry. I'm already going against these guys who are killers. There's not pressure is nothing. Oh, actually my background on my thing says pressure isn't anything. That's what made me.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So just a couple more minutes here with you. You're ranked third in Kentucky, seventh in Ohio at featherweight. Are you just excited to really test yourselves against these guys at the top of the rankings with similar records and experiences as you?
Uh, yeah, I mean, like, count them up for real. I believe in wholeheartedly, um, how my coach trains. He trains to like everybody we fight. We watch tape and we break them down at a level. And he's like an elite mind. Like people really don't know yet until me and Jagel and Zach and Danny and we got a few other guys who are about to start fighting more. Um, whenever we get to that elite level, they'll know finally. But they don't know like how elite his mind is and how he like studies and how hard we work. And I just can't wait to show them. I honestly, because a lot of my fights look sloppy, people are like, "Oh yeah, I'll just do this." Okay, come do it.
I love the mindset, and this was an incredible chat, man. Before we wrap up, if you just want to shout anything out here at the back end of the show, the floor is yours, man.
I just want to thank all my training partners, Anthony Jagel, Zach Westland, Dan Murray. I imagine he'll be on your show after a couple fights. He's a dog, and people don't know about him yet. Obviously my coach Ruben Vera, and most of all, Jesus Christ.
All right, there you have it. Thanks again, Kolby, for joining the show. Before I get you out of here, I always end these episodes by doing the OHIO chant with my guests. So if you could give me an IO here. OH.
IO.
Thanks, Kolby. I appreciate the time. Congrats on the win and your return at OCL 40, and I can't wait to see you back in there.
God bless. Have a good day.
That was Kolby, the Christian McDonald, the 4-0 amateur mixed martial artist. Check out the Forged in Ohio store for all of the show's latest merchandise. We're into the fall season, so crew necks, hoodies, long sleeves, and more are available over there with the link available below. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and liking these videos to help us grow as well. Thanks again to Kolby McDonald, and thanks to all of you for watching or tuning into this episode. I've been your host, Jake Murren, and this was Forged in Ohio.